All right, everybody, today is a big day. Got a lot going on, so I'm very excited to share this with you. But after I do this, I got to get back to work. Today, I'm going to talk to you how I bought 10 vacant land parcels all in one. Actually, it was nine in one deal and one in a follow up deal that happened right after that with a totally different buyer. And then guess what? Guess how much I paid for all of them? Well, the amount of money I paid for all 10 is less than what I can go and buy a new car for. In fact, I'll probably need twice the amount of money to buy something, even the cheapest of cheap cars from Toyota, Nissan, etc. So, you guys ready to get into this? First off, let me make sure you guys can hear me and see me okay. I had a little technical difficulties before I got started, so I want to make sure that everybody can, I'm coming across and I'm not just talking to the empty void where John Oliver lives. All right, so let me take a quick peek at the comments, see if you guys are paying attention. You can hear me, you can see me, all that good stuff. Whether you're watching live, watching a replay, you know the deal. Just let me know. Let me know. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get started. Right now, you are here looking because you are about to find out how I just bought 10 parcels in an area. So, you know what? This is kind of funny because back when I first started this, I never thought things like this was possible. I thought this is stuff that happened to other people and not me. And it was happening to a lot of folks all around me. And I figured I would need thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and a lot of connections and a lot of publicity and all types of things that just wasn't true. I also thought I would have to do something different than what I was doing now. Um, and that was kind of true. And I'll explain that in a moment. Also, I was looking at what was going on and I figured I need all types of different skills. And buying 10 lots at once was like 10 times the work. That was the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, it may have been this particular deal, but it's probably one of the easiest deals I had in a while. No weird title issues, not a bunch of paperwork to track down, not a weird bunch of family members to find. One owner, husband and wife, both ready to sign over the property to me as soon as they get paid. You guys want to hear how that works? You want to hear about that? All right, well, let's move on. All right, because I got a lot to get into. So for this particular deal, it was tough because if you guys, well, only a handful of you guys are in the group, and I don't know why you guys aren't in my investing group. If you're not in my investing group, you need to actually get in there because this is where all the juicy details have been discussed and things like that. And we actually may be making history in that group as we speak, and I'll get into that if that history is made. But as I was telling the group, like, look, I have a goal and a financial goal. I want to make $300,000 this year. Sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a big, hairy, scary goal. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, sure, I know I'm gonna be buying and selling land and all that, but I'm like, how am I gonna go from having a negative bank account last year around this time to making more money than I've ever made in my life, more money than my wife makes, and she makes a shit ton of money, all in a quick turnaround. Now, I don't know if you know, but I explained that I made $106,000 last year working the 8.5 months out of the year. That was what I collected in revenue. I just did my taxes, so I was able to see that all right in front of me. So, how am I going to triple that? Well, that means I have to make bigger, scary, hairy goals like making triple the money, but it also means I have to change certain things. I got to change the way I think. I got to change the way I approach things. See, if I keep doing things the same exact way I did last year, I would do okay, but I'm gonna get the same exact result I had last year. And right now, I got debt I gotta pay. As I told you guys know this, you know my story. I dug myself in a deep financial hole and I'm slowly climbing out of it. But the way I was nickel and diming it, I wasn't moving fast enough. And in fact, I don't know if I'll be able to get out of that debt because I don't know if you heard, but when you're only making small payments or minimum payments, interest piles up. That interest adds up. So now, instead of the original amount I borrowed to do whatever I need to do, mostly education, business, and then some bills from time to time, now I got to pay interest on top of that. So the amount grows and grows and grows. And I'm paying back that a little bit, but then the amount is still growing. So the amount that I owe is growing faster than what I was paying as I was trying to rapidly grow this business. And so I decided, you know what? Well, I need to have bigger deals. I need to have bigger paydays, and I need to do that quickly. How am I going to do that? Well, I had to basically get really good at selling. Sell all the property I had, and I had to put the brakes on my business just for a moment as I collected a lot more cash. So that means I wasn't contacting folks. I wasn't making new lists. I wasn't doing anything. Unless something fell into my lap, I wasn't doing it. I was just focusing on saving cash, focusing on improving my flows and my processes, because I knew I'm about to have this big tidal wave of offers coming in, and I had to be ready and mentally prepare myself. So that moment happened. As I started to get better with my offers, as in, have better offers that are more enticing to the buyers, or excuse me, property owners. This is what we talked about the last 2 weeks. As I, put myself out there and started to contact more people in one go that I ever had before, I knew this was going to come. I just didn't expect it to come this soon and this easily. I guess you put it out there, and God, the universe, whatever you want to say, they're like, all right, I guess you're ready for this. Let's get this work. So I was at that point where I was talking a big game. I want to triple my money. I want to do this. I want to do that. And as I said, I didn't know how I was going to do it. That's when I figured it's time to play big. How many times have you been to a point where you had to start playing big, and then you felt you were ready, but then when that opportunity came, what did you do? For a lot of us, we shy away from it. We may not even recognize it's an opportunity. We may see something like, oh yeah, if this was different and that was different, then I can try that. But we don't see it as something that we can accomplish right now because it's not as obvious or immediate to us. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have the money I needed. And just to let you know, I'm buying 10 lots for $950 a piece. So that means I had to come out of pocket $9,500 to buy all these 10 lots. Let that sink in. I didn't have that. This is the guy that had an overdrawn bank account, getting back into land investing, buying lots for 300 here, 400 there, 500 here, and then, selling for 15, 16, 18, $2,000. And then using part of that money to buy more lots, using that money to pay bills. So it wasn't, it's not like I had this big pile of cash. I grew it slowly over 2020. And then, as I said, in the last month or so, I really focused on making that pot bigger so I can take advantage of these deals. And I didn't expect it to come, but it came all at once. So you want to know how I did it. And that's why you're here for. All right. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So first, I had to find the right area. And truth be told, the same way I told my investment group, sometimes, a lot of times it's luck. Because here's the real talk. This land stuff works everywhere, all over the country. I got people in my land investing group who's doing stuff in New York State. I've never heard anybody do it like land in New York State. But there's no reason why it doesn't work. And she's proving that it does work. Most times you hear about Texas and Florida and Nevada and Arizona and New Mexico, because that's where a lot of land investors go. Colorado, especially, because that's what people know and they're comfortable with that. But where you will find your pocket of how you're going to, make a lot of deals, that's kind of luck in the beginning until you start to hear different clues and different tips, and you learn how to do proper research. So I was told, like, hey, look in Texas, maybe you'll find something there. And doing the research I talked to you guys about, if you guys saw my escape velocity strategy video, you know exactly the research I did. Um, I'm actually getting deeper and deeper and refining that technique as we speak. But I was just kind of searching, randomly searching, put the map here. Let's see what's for sale during this time. And I would see, okay, that looks cool. I would move the map there because I'm just scrolling the map around. And what am I looking for? I'm just looking for, okay, if I see people are offering land at this price, that means they didn't pay for it at that price. They must have paid a lot less. Well, at least that's my goal, to pay a lot less. Usually a quarter of that price, half of that price, something like that. So I know, look, if a property is selling for $2,000, for example, I know that I should be able to sell a property for $2,000 or maybe 1,900 if I want to undercut them a little bit. That means I have to buy the property for about 800 bucks, 700 bucks, 600 bucks, so I can actually make a profit and have this be worth my time. So then once I start seeing that, that's how I found this county. Now, in the past, this county, I don't think there's a lot of land investor activity at the moment. I know there's other people who are mailing there, because when I'm talking to folks, when I'm making deals, they're like, oh yeah, I got some other postcards from people, but you're the only one that actually called me back. Um, I know that the information may not be as easy to get for some people, or dealing with the county may not be as easy as it is for as other places. So people kind of shy away from that area. I embraced it. That gave me a nice wide open blue ocean to play in, meaning there wasn't a lot of blood in the water because of all the feeding frenzy of all the competition. Um, but yeah, so the individual I bought the 10 lots from, I actually probably contacted them last year around this time. First, I texted them, crickets. Then I tried texting them again. Like I probably had a handful of numbers to try, crickets all throughout. No answers, no replies. Then I sent them ringless voicemails, no replies. Then I sent them offer letters and postcards. And after a while, I would imagine I probably tried to contact this individual 5, 6 times. Now, it's not like I'm like, hey, this John Smith, I got to talk to John Smith. It's just like, look, I got a list of names that I got, and I'm going to contact everybody on his list. How did I get that list of names? Well, for this individual county, I actually went through the county's assessor site and put this list together by hand. That's right, one by one, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Why did I do that? Because I didn't have any money to do anything else. I had time, I had no money. So I copy and paste it. And the beautiful thing about that list, it was it was high detail. I got all the information I needed, nothing I didn't need. And I felt it was the most accurate list I can get at the time because I'm getting it directly from the county and not from a third party service. Now, third party services I use all the time currently, and they work very well. But the county has always been the official record, the official source of that information. Sometimes there's more information. These third-party websites or services, they have different information that you can actually, or they'll put together for you to make things a little bit more comprehensive instead of you going to different departments yourself and getting that information. But in general, I was able to do this by hand and I did it for free 99. And what I was doing back then was doing a couple of times, adding to the list, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 a day. How long would that take me? About a minute per name or so. You know, find the next parcel that's vacant. Make sure the owner lives out of the county or out of the state. Add them to the list. Go to the next list or next person in line. You know, you can see you can see everything there. So that's how I found it. And the first time I tried to hit this guy up, I probably said, "Give me. I'll only spend $300 on your lot." I didn't have any money. And then the next time it was probably like 350 to like 700 or something, right? And I'm given these ranges. And so every time I tried to hit this person up, when I actually was able to make contact, mostly through the postcard, I'm trying to give a range that this person didn't like. Eventually, I got to a range he liked. How did I get there? Well, if you were paying attention the last 2 weeks, all the stuff I talked about your offer letter and your pricing and how to figure that out. Well, I was telling you guys that because that shit was real time for me. I was actually going through it. Like I've gotten plenty of deals where I didn't have a great offer. I've gotten plenty of deals where my offer was totally out of left field and it was totally way too low, but they were willing to talk to me and we can figure out an agreeable price. But it's much more difficult to make deals that way if you're coming with somebody who's going to be a little bit more combative because they feel that you're trying to cheat them in some way. So I tried to be as fair as I could. I still make money. And I knew that because I bought a couple of parcels in this area before, like 30 of them. So I knew how much I really wanted to spend. I made sure that the high end I'm able to spend and still make money, which would be more than I've ever spent in this parcel or in this area before. And I put that as my high end. I made a low end of something that I would be more comfortable. I'm like, hey, within that range. Well, that guy liked that. And he finally budged and he gave me a call. It's like, hey, I got 10 lots. I want to sell them. And I'm not going to sell them for a dollar under $950 per lot. Now, if I would have heard that about last year this time, I'd have been like, nah, man, that's too much. Man, you tripping. This time I'm like, well, I regularly sell those lots for around 18, 17, 1600 per lot. 950 per lot is more than I want to spend, but I will still make money. And I don't know about you. You can put this in the comments below, but what would you rather have? Hold on to your little bit of money, right? Or spend more than you would like, but end up getting more in the end. Put that in the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay. So I want you to think about this because it's often when we get a little nervous, and I'm speaking from experience. Maybe you're different. Maybe you have nerves of steel, but me, when I have to spend more or invest more than I was willing to, I get nervous. And all of a sudden all the what ifs start to play in my mind. And they're totally illogical what ifs. These don't make any sense. especially in this area for me, an area that I've invested in all of 2020. So I have to get over myself. I have to remember the conversation I had. Look, I'm trying to play big. I'm trying to do this thing. I'm trying to, make this shit happen. So when I called the guy back, like, all right, I tried to talk him down. He's like, no, I told you what I wanted on your voicemail. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why play games? Let's do it. And what made me feel confident in doing that, because right before I called this guy, I looked up, he owes no taxes. I looked up, I was able to find a warranty deed on file, meaning that I had confidence knowing that the title was clean. And if not, if it wasn't, I can easily go back and, um, I mean, maybe not me personally, but I can go back and figure out what's going on. And in doing the due diligence I teach in my investment group, seeing that everything looks good to me, like, hey, I'm just paying a couple extra dollars per lot for the convenience of not having a headache. Once I looked at it that way and I switched my perspective, I was ready. So I went to the bank and I got a check for $9,500. Right before I did that, though, somebody else called. They wanted to sell their lot to me. They didn't know what the price was because they owe a little bit of taxes. And looked up, it was only $80 worth of taxes. I'm like, look, I'll give you $500 a lot. He's like, all right. So now I have to go out of pocket 10 G's. 10 G's. But how much do you think I'm going to make on that? I want you to put your guesses in below. I'll give you a second. All right. Whether you're watching live or replay, put your guess how much I'm going to make on this. My estimated ROI, anyways. So 9,500 for the lot of 10, or excuse me, 10, and 500 for this other one. So I have 11 lots. Now that I think about it, not just 10, I have 11. And so I kind of pre-sold them. I pre-sold them to be about, I'm expecting to make about $18,000 from that 9,500 bucks. Would you do that deal? 9,500 make 18,000? What if it was only 17,000? Would you do it? It was only 16,000. Would you do it? For me, it's a good deal. It's a real good deal. Now, what I'm going to do now is tell you a little bit more on how I made this happen. First, as I said, I have to be ready to invest. I had to get my mind ready for it. As I explained, I was nervous, especially when he said he's going to want more than what I really wanted to spend. But I realized with the amount of upside I had and knowing the area and how people like this area, like I know I'm going to sell it and I'm going to get my price. So first thing, be ready. But I also mean I had to have the money ready myself. So that means I had to say no to things I normally say yes to. Different things of running my business, different things I had to do, creating deals to, defer certain payments on certain bills, things like that, or just finding out how to do the minimum, finding other ways to just make things happen as I collected all this, income. And then when I was ready to move forward, I had to contact a ton of people. So I sent out a mailer for about 1,100 people over the weekend. Now, I believe this was not a result of that. I believe that this person got my first few mailers when I was experimenting with different pricing and things like that, maybe about 2 weeks ago. That 1,100 mailers that I sent over the weekend, that's going to come back in a big flood. I got to be ready for that too. So you got to be ready to invest. You can't talk a big game and not do it. You got to go for it. All right. Then I make things easy for him. I gave him the price he wanted. I said, I'm gonna do all the work. I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of, and I'm gonna do it quickly. So you're not waiting on your money, right? That made it much easier for him. Like you can visibly hear his tone change on the phone from, hey, yeah, this is what I want. I don't want to pay nothing less to, okay, yeah, no problem. I got you. Oh, okay. And his whole demeanor changed. And it wasn't like he was disagreeable before that, but you can tell he's a little defensive, a little on edge, kind of ready to combat. But then he actually was able to, chill out a little bit and made things really simple. Right. The next thing is I got to start to sell this ASAP. A lot of my money is tied up in these 10 or 11 lots. If I sit there and just wait until I get everything back before I start to market this, I've already wasted a week or two. Who knows how long it's going to take for him to get the deed back to me? So I start to talk to people now, and I already have somebody who may want to buy it, who actually says, "Yeah, we got a deal." Now, I won't say anything until it actually goes through. I got to make sure I get the properties first, and then I got to make sure that deal goes through. But this person's bought a lot from me before, so there's no reason for me to believe that he wouldn't pay for this one. Again, he's been asking me, "Hey, you got anything? You got anything? You got anything?" I have to keep telling him no until I finally had this 10 lot deal. He was ready to go at that point. Now, here's the fun part. I got somebody else looking to sell me 10 parcels, and I have no money left. But what do you think I'm going to do? I'll give you a hint. I tried to call this individual back earlier, right before this go live, but they weren't available. But I'm going to make sure I get these 10 lots even without the cash. And how I'm going to do that is probably an option agreement. And if you're not familiar, an option agreement is basically saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to buy your property. I'm going to spend this price. Just give me X amount of time to get the money together. And during that time, you can't sell to anybody else." And what's customary is to give that person who signs that option agreement $50, $100, $10, something just to keep them satisfied, basically a little money for their trouble. And if I don't get the money by the time we agree to, then he's out of the deal. He keeps the money if there's any money exchanged, and he can do whatever he wants to do. So that's probably what I'm going to do with that. And I'll probably use the money that I'm going to make from these 10 lots and do it for the next 10. But it doesn't happen unless I'm ready to invest, right? I'm not going to let an opportunity pass me by just because I don't have any cash right now or because I'm a little nervous about it. Crazy. All right. So look, my time's almost up. Let's recap. First, I had to find an area. I just had someone just said, "Hey, just look in Texas." So I did. I randomly found an area in Texas. I see the property that were available in Zillow. I see how much they're going for. I see that if the price is, let's just say $2,000, and that means they didn't, weren't acquired for that price, at least not from a land investor. So maybe I can get a property for that 500, 600, $700. So then I went and made a list. I went to the county site. I pulled off every landowner that lived out of the state, out of county, put them on a list. And then I tried to contact those people. And a lot of people didn't like my original offer. So I went back and contacted them again with a new offer and a new offer and a new offer. And I kept following up until someone said, like, "All right, my life circumstances changed where I don't want this property anymore, and the price you're offering seems reasonable to me. Let's go." Then I have to be ready to do it. I made it happen. Now, if you have any questions on how I did that, I can't see any comments right now. I don't even know if I'm even posting to the damn right place. Um, Let me know in the comments below. I promise I'll read them. I think this may have went straight to my Facebook page. I don't know. Um, if not, I'm recording it on my end so I can upload it later on. But if you like what you heard here and you want to know more, put in the comments "Pay Dirt." I will hit you up separately in the PM, and I'll let you know more about the investment group I have. I'll let you know more about how land investing works in a greater detail. But I'll probably want to hear more about you, your goals, your reasoning, why you want to do land investing. Are you built for this? Are you cut out for this? And then let you know what your options are. And then hopefully I can help you that way, help you make a decision like, "Hey, land investing for me. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to stop sitting on the bench and get into that game." Or like, "You know what? After hearing about that, it's not for me, but I'm going to make a decision to do this other thing. And I'm not going to sit around no more and wait for an opportunity to come. I'm going to go seize that opportunity." If you found this useful, please share with other folks. Let people know land investing is real. It works all over the country. There's so much land out there. I can't possibly take it alone. I mean, I'm already telling you, there's another 10 lots in that same tiny little area that I can't get. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to keep this guy on the hook until I'm able to buy. And oh, you know what? Let me add this too. Most of the money I made last year were in two small areas. So two different counties, but two little areas within those counties. You don't need a lot of variety to make a lot of cash in this business. Now, it is good to be diversified. So if one area slows down, hopefully the other area that you're in, that's a way different area, is picking up. So you always have some kind of money coming in. But when you're first starting out, if you get really detailed in one area, really know it like the back of your hand, really don't give up. You follow up with everybody. These deals will come. If you're like looking for the easy stuff, you'll find one or two here or there. But the real money is when you dig deep and you really get in the pocket of what people are looking for in that area for purchasing and for selling. That's where the deals will come. Or you know if you're wasting your time or not. But most likely you'll find deals. But look, if you're finding it useful, let me know in the comments. If you want to talk to me, pave dirt. As I said, I have no idea where this went. Where this went. So yeah, I appreciate your time. Hopefully, you guys are out there making money too. I'm looking forward to hear about your success stories. I always love to hear those. Those make me more excited than my own. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys. Peace.